Hello everyone, welcome back to Behind the Pages with Maggie, breaking barriers one story at a time. This is the first episode which I'm so excited to begin with, and today we'll be reading a book on one of my inspirations, and her name is Malala. And today we'll be reading the book of Malala's Magic Pencil, which is also illustrated by Karaskawet. Now, I want to share a very small story with you on how Malala has truly inspired me from when I was a child all the way to where I am now. To be quite frank, she became my inspiration and my role model when I still distinctly remember actually the first time when I saw the cover of the book in a bookstore. Her book, which is I Am Malala, the story of the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. Now, I have heard of the story of Malala beforehand, but at the age of 11 at that time, I really did not quite comprehend why a girl had to stand up for her right to have an education which she deserves, and nor did I really grasp the idea why she was shot for her fearlessness, for standing up for her values. So when I saw the book again a few years later, I didn't hesitate to grab it. I was determined to learn her stories, and truly her stories have changed me forever. Because when reading the story and when reading the book, I could see her struggles and hopelessness through her eyes, but she taught me that when one falls, one gets up stronger than before. And her experiences and her values, which she holds so deep, made me realize just how grateful I am and how grateful I should be to have the life that I have. And of course, most importantly, her fearlessness and her willingness to stand up for something she so strongly believes. It's truly empowering and really motivated me to come to a realization that anyone can make a difference, and so can you. So for those of you who don't know who Malala Yousafzai is, this is just a very short introduction to the great person that she is. So she is the educational campaigner from Swat Valley, Pakistan, who came to public attention when she was only 11 by writing for BBC Urdu about life under the Taliban. Now, using the pen name Gul Makai, she spoke about her family's fight for girls' education in her community. In October 2012, Malala was targeted by the Taliban as she was returning home from school. She miraculously survived and has continued her campaign for education, and she has been honored with the National Youth Peace Prize in Pakistan, the International Children's Peace Prize, and the Amnesty International Ambassador of Conscience Award. And in 2014, she became the youngest ever winner of the Nobel Peace Prize at the age of 17. Now, Malala champions universal access to quality education through Malala Fund, which of course you can visit on malala.org. This book, which I'm going to be reading today, Malala's Magic Pencil, tells the story of her life through her eyes, because she tells her inspiring story of growing up in a war-torn region. And of course, in this book, she still can see the magic of hope everywhere else she looked. And I really hope this story will offer you a glimpse of hope in one of the darkest times, or whatever you are experiencing. And I really do hope you enjoy this story. And of course, let's begin. Do you believe in magic? When I was younger, I used to watch a TV show about a boy who had a magic pencil. If he was hungry, he drew a bowl of curry, and it appeared. If he and his friends were in danger, he drew a police officer. The boy was a little hero, always protecting people who needed help. Oh, how I wanted a magic pencil too. If I had a magic pencil, I would use it to put a lock on my door so my brothers couldn't bother me. I would use it to stop time so I could sleep an extra hour every morning. I would use it to erase the smell of the rubbish dump near our house. And I would use it to make other people happy. I would draw the most beautiful dresses in the world for my mother. I would draw the best buildings in the valley for my father so he could open many schools where children would study for free. I would draw a proper ball so my brothers and I no longer had to play with an old sock stuffed with rubbish. Every night before I went to bed, I wished for a magic pencil of my own. And every morning I would wake up and check my cupboard, but the magic pencil was never there. One day, I was throwing away potato peelings and eggshells at the dump. I was wrinkling my nose, swatting away flies, and making sure I didn't step on anything dirty in my nice shoes, when I saw a girl about my age sorting rubbish into piles. Nearby, boys were fishing for metal scraps using magnets on strings. When my father returned home from work, I told him what I'd seen. It made him sad. "Abba?" I said. "Yes, Johnny," he said back. I always liked when he called me dear one. "Why haven't I seen that girl in my class?" "Because," he said, but he didn't finish right away. "Because, Johnny, in our country, not everyone sends their daughters to school, and some children must work to support their family, and those boys will sell the metal scraps they find. If they went to school, their families would go hungry. School was my favorite place, but I had never considered myself lucky to be able to go. My father had always said, 'Malala will live free as a bird.' Now I wondered how free I'd truly be. That night, I thought about families who didn't have enough food, and the girl who couldn't go to school, and even about how when I was older I would be expected to cook and clean for my brothers, because where I came from, many girls weren't allowed to become what they dreamed of. I knew then that if I had the magic pencil, I would use it to draw a better world, a peaceful world. First, I would erase war, poverty, and hunger. Then, I would draw girls and boys together as equals. Over the next few years, instead of wishing for a magic pencil every night, I worked hard in school every day. I wanted to be one of the top students in my class. But soon, powerful and dangerous men declared that girls were forbidden from attending school. They walked the streets of our city now. They carried weapons. One by one, girls stopped coming to school. "Abba, where are all the students?" "They don't feel safe anymore here, Johnny." How could a few men stop all the girls in our valley from going to school? If more people knew what was happening to us, I thought, they might help. Wishing wasn't enough. Someone needed to speak out. Why not me? I wrote about what it felt like to be scared to walk to school, and how some of my friends had moved away because of the threat they faced in our city. I wrote about how much I loved school and how proud I was of my uniform. Once I started writing, I didn't stop. I wrote speeches and traveled around my country sharing my story. I even talked to a reporter from a famous international newspaper. People actually wanted to learn about my life. I spoke for all the girls in my valley who couldn't speak for themselves. My voice became so powerful that dangerous men tried to silence me. But they failed. And now my voice is louder than ever. Louder because people have joined me, and together we make a chorus, standing up for what we believe. We raise our voices for those in need. We help people in danger, even if they are an ocean away. And we think of the world as a family. I wrote alone in my room, but people all over the world were reading my story. Millions now know it and help me spread my message of hope. I had at last found the magic I was looking for, in my words and in my work. I am Malala. I've always wished I could make the world a more peaceful place, and every day I work to make my dream and my wish come true. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Well, I really do hope that you have enjoyed the story of Malala, and before we end this episode, I guess, I would really like to read a letter in which Malala penned to her readers in this book, and I would really just like to share this with you, and I think you will be inspired and empowered by her as well, after listening to her letter, of course. Here it goes. Dear friend, as a child, I used to watch a TV show called Shakalaka Boom Boom. It was about a boy named Sanju who could make anything real by drawing it with a magic pencil he found. Sanju and his friends were always getting into trouble, and the magic pencil would help them get out of it. But my early childhood was mostly trouble-free. I grew up in the beautiful Swat Valley in northwest Pakistan, the sister of two cheeky little brothers and the only daughter of a resilient mother and inspiring father who was a school teacher. Trouble came to my valley when I was 10 years old, and girls were forbidden from going to school. At first I thought, what can I do? I'm just a child. As I watched my father speak out for girls' education, I realized I had a voice too, and I wanted to use it. I believed then, as I believe now, that all children should have access to education. When we are young, we feel powerless. We rely on adults to do the serious work. However, when real danger threatened my right to go to school, I felt stronger than ever, and I found power in my voice. Once I wished for Sanju's magic pencil. Now I know that when you find your voice, every pencil can be magic. I hope that my story inspires you to find the magic in your own life and to always speak up for what you believe in. Magic is everywhere in the world, in knowledge, beauty, love, peace. The magic is in you, in your words, in your voice. Malala. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and I really hope that you have enjoyed my podcast and this episode. I cannot wait to see you next time. Goodbye for now.